Hello. Welcome in, everyone. Hello to Dr. Padawan. I do think that you were actually first. Hello, Protein. Yos, hello. What do you mean new Twitch? Your name is the same as before. I don't understand. Oh, I need to switch that. You didn't hear the welcome, did you? I am, in fact, a new streamer. This is my first stream. Hello, Steffi. Welcome in.
Welcome in Res 1 Coder.
First stream, so just gonna see how it goes. We'll see how, what we get up to. Don't have a lot of plans for today, as it's, my first stream and my first time on Twitch. I don't have any expectations. Maybe we'll hit affiliate today, chat. I don't know. Hello, Rez. Yes, I should drink. Thank you for reminding me of hydration. Look at this beautiful, beautiful lighting. Stream often enough and you could become affiliate. True. What if I'm tired of data? Well then, Rez, you should stick around today because we're actually going to be talking about the news. Not that news that you might be worried about. No, the other news. Truncate table. Are you truncating tables, Padawan? You should not be truncating tables. So, what's up? How goes it, you young people? What are the things young people say these days to seem cool? What are like the in phrases? Isn't there like a skibbity toilet or something? I don't know. Yeah, I have returned after a relatively long absence on Twitch. I was around. For those of you who don't know, I was around. I was in Discord. I was at conferences. I was posting on LinkedIn. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Create or replace streamer. That's not a function. What shouldn't I do, Protein? What shouldn't I do? Tell me. I was on a ship, that's right. I was on a boat. I'm on a boat. Yeah, I was on a boat. I will share pictures. I think we should do that first, actually. I was on a boat. Definitely. I will show you proof that I was on a boat, okay? Irrefutable proof that I was on a boat. Are you ready? I will give you 100% undeniable proof that I was on a boat. 1 second. I'm looking for a picture only of me on a boat. Hold on. There's lots of videos. No, that's not obvious enough. Is there no... this is me at a beach. This could be indoors. Waldo meme contest. You shouldn't talk like the babies. What babies? Waldo meme contest? We can do a meme contest if you want. As Waldo. I don't... I don't have a photo of just me proving that I was on a boat. Ironically. Maybe. I have photos that are indicative that I was on a boat. Okay. I'll show you the first photo. How do I do this? There we go. Here is the first photo with proof that I was on a boat. I know this may not look like a boat, but it is, because it's actually a Disney cruise ship. So me and Donald were matching, which is kind of cool. And if anyone has a better Waldo outfit, then you better tell me. Wait, I'm gonna try and find. I'm gonna try and find a photo of me on a boat. Hold on. I need to prove that I was on the boat. How do I prove I was on the boat? Wait. This is a photo of the boat. Difficult. I could crop. Wait. We can crop. Hold on. I'm trying, chat. Okay? I'm trying. I'm trying to find a good picture of a boat. It doesn't really look like a boat. That's the thing. That's what's crazy. It doesn't even seem like I was on a boat. Oh, this is very boat-like. Okay, wait. This is very boat-like. I'm gonna download this. Okay. Then I'm gonna crop. Okay. We're safe. Okay. Here's proof. Proof I was on a boat. See? These are boat things. These are boat things. It's at night. It's very dark. But it's a boat. Doesn't this look like I'm on a boat? Anyway, that was yeah, I have had a great time the last few weeks. I don't know what you have been up to, chat. None of you told me anything about what you've been doing. I asked you in the title of the stream. Isn't that where you're supposed to put your stream questions? Aren't you supposed to put stream questions in the title of your stream? Because then people see the title when you go live and then they ask you or they answer your question? Boat GPT or boat museum? I guess we'll never know for sure. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I should talk about a bit about what I've been up to. The past... When was the last stream, chat? I don't remember. Honestly. When was the last stream? I'm trying to look. Oh, that's a long time ago. September? Is that possible? No. Have I not streamed since like August?
Michael? What are the odds?
26th of August? No, this is today's title. This is my question. I mean, that was summer. That was a different season. That's why this is a new season. Season 2, episode 1 of the Data Cafe. I did actually forget about you for a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I actually definitely forgot about Twitch for a good few weeks in the summer. And only recently, in the past like couple weeks, have I started to like watch Twitch again. I literally like just didn't open Twitch for a solid like 2-3 weeks. I had basically no time. I had no time. That's why I wasn't streaming. I had no time. So I just put Twitch away and just did nothing with Twitch. Lots of other things. And don't forget that there's plenty of things out there, chat. Like there's so much going on in the world, good and bad. But there's just so much to do. We don't have to stay online and on Twitch. On the cruise, I found myself at times not even looking at my phone for like hours because we were doing other things. Like I left my phone in the room even sometimes. Like I really just, it was a very nice feeling to disconnect a little bit. I know there's a lot of people who say that you should like do that regularly and stuff. I liked the feeling. I liked it. I wouldn't want to do it like all the time, but it's a good feeling. Yost, you keep plants. Wait, didn't you have plants before? I remember you having plants before. I feel like you had plants beforehand. I don't have plants. We don't have plants. 26th of August, Padawan, thank you for confirming. I read so many books, that's my update, and I have kittens. Are the kittens new, Protein? So we don't have any new pets. It's just Jerry still. Is the bunny cam still working? Yeah, there he is. He's chilling. Up in the logs. See here, look. There he is. There's the little guy. He unfortunately wasn't feeling too well while we were away. So that was a little bit stressful. Don't need new pets. I did read a very good book while I was on holiday called The Martian, which is, I believe the film came after the book. That's what I understand. All your kittens are new. That's cool. So you're buying plants that you know will survive for more than a few weeks. What are the criteria for knowing that plants will survive beyond a few weeks? Hello, JT Niche. That was Karen attempting to read your name was pretty funny. How's it going, JT? It's good to see you. I'm on earlier than Yeet, so that's a little bit easier for us Europeans to watch my time zone.
Welcome, lead codes.
Thicket leaves, less colors. See, I don't know what thicket means. Oh, you mean thicker? Thicker leaves? Ah, yeah. Hi, Leah. Have you read Project Hail Mary? Oh, no, that's the one. Sorry, I confused the two. That's the one I read. Project Hail Mary. That is a really good book. Like, I don't read a lot of books these days, and oh my gosh. That is incredible book. Incredible. I confused it with The Martian. Sorry, confused it. No, Project Hail Mary is fantastic. I absolutely chonked down that book. I think I read it I read the whole book in the entire week we were away, basically. So I'm gonna get Amazon to give me a few other book recommendations that are similar to that one. If any of you have a good recommendation for something that's in that style, yeah, exactly. I do intend to read The Martian, although I kind of already know the story, but I think it would be cool to read it. If you have any books by another author, Bobbyverse. Is that a book title? Bobbyverse series by Dennis E. Taylor. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a good space to get back into reading again. I would like to spend less time with my phone in the evenings, which I unfortunately am still doing a lot. I would like to spend less time with my phone and more books. Because I slept so well on the cruise. Like, oh my gosh. Despite the fact that it was a boat and we were uncertain about how we would feel on a boat, we slept really well. So, yeah. Yeah, it's good to see all of you. I am going to be streaming regularly again. And actually, we have a really, really, really big stream happening this Friday. So it's a little bit out of schedule. Hi, Kara. It's a little bit out of schedule, but I do want to talk about it. For those of you who are here already, I think it's something really nice to share. And we're doing a very cool team event. That's right. We're not only doing something on my stream, but we are doing something on possibly 10 streams at once. So it's a little bit special. We are doing a charity stream for Make-A-Wish. Next.js 15 upgrade stream. Yes, exactly. Get 10 streamers together to upgrade your website to Next.js. Exactly. No, we are doing a very cool event. I'm going to paste the relevant links in chat in a second. Give me 1 second. So there's a tweet here for you. If you are... thank you so much. If you are on Blue Sky, there's also now a Blue Sky post link. What are Blue Sky things called? Seats? Posts? I don't know. So, yeah. What are we doing on that day? That's a very good question. it's pretty much up to whoever, like whatever people want to do on their stream. So it starts at 9 p.m. UTC. Definitely just converted to your time zone. But there should be anywhere between 5 to 10 Claw team members streaming at the same time on Twitch in the same category. So there's a very good chance that if you go to the software and game dev category on Friday, there should be a kind of category takeover effect. That's basically what we're going for. Some people call them skeets and some people just call them posts. Okay, I suppose the URL is posts, so yeah, people will be doing stuff. I won't spill the beans yet, but I hear that there are very fun things happening across all the different streams. So there's going to be something for everyone. We're going to be definitely abusing the guest star stream shared chat, whatever it's called, to like double up on tons of different interactions between the channels. If we can get shared chat going, you should see messages from across the streams and stuff. Should be pretty interesting. But I'm mostly excited to do something for charity. I think it's really cool, and Make-A-Wish is a great cause, and so we have a direct thing that we can do. And yeah, we have a Discord event in the Claw. So if you would like to tag yourself or remind yourself to be in the Discord, why does that command not work? That's strange. Stream Elements is like sleeping or what? What's happening? Is Stream Elements sleeping? Did anyone try any other commands today? Oh, Stream Elements is... Yeah, so... That's not the one I was talking about, but thank you. Not sure why the Discord link is not doing it. Thanks, Steffi. But yeah, there is a Discord event. You can click remind me on that one to get it in your time zone as well. And I'm very excited about that. If we can get 10 people to stream at the same time, that's 2 rows of the first 2 rows of the category. All the commands not happening. Well, some of them, like TypeScript, just simply don't exist. So I don't know what to tell you. I can't do anything about that, and I'm not going to make a TypeScript command. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. There's a Discord thing there, so I don't know. It's an announcement. Maybe they messed something up with Stream Elements. Probably running an unofficial modified Discord app. Let's not talk about that, Yoast. People hacking their Discord apps. I think we should start things off how we do traditionally start things on this channel. I'm pretty sure all of you know it by now. But for those of you who have not been here before, if it's your first time, pipe up in chat. You have nothing to lose by saying hello. There's a way that we start every stream on this channel.
Garbage.
Garbage is necessary and included.
Welcome in Conhorn.
No, it's not a song, Canhorn. But as the music ascends, it's your first time, I will be gentle, JT. We start with the meme of the day. And today's meme, courtesy of Sketch. Sketchnie, as I like to call Sketch. Courtesy of Sketch is this priceless meme. If you'd like to grab it for yourself, !MOTD in chat to share it with your friends. Marshmallow of the day. That would be a very nice feature. That would be super cool. So if you're here for the first time, Mondays is a Data Cafe episode. We have a lot of news to catch up on. I have to say that a lot of things have been happening in the data space. So we're going to do something today that I have never done before. We're going to do a speed round. We're going to do a speed round in the 4th section of the news stream. This one here, the green one, that is the startups and technology segment, we're going to do a speed round where we kind of just read the titles, give a 30-second synopsis, and move on so that we don't spend too much time. But basically how the Data Cafe works is there's going to be a series of sections. We talk about privacy, we talk about hardware stuff, we talk about Gen AI, talk about startups and tech, DuckDB, whatever. And then we have 3 special items. We have a Swiss news item, we have a TOSGG special call out, and we have a random pick. And I promise you that you're gonna really enjoy the random pick article for today. I promise you. I don't know if there's an article on DuckDB today. Let's find out. But let's get things started with the first item of the day. I opened this twice. Hi, Exceldro. That's not fair. 13th century armor versus 14. I'm sorry. Are you comparing different armor stats in the meme? I have to say that's the first time that someone has compared armor stats of a meme. I have never heard that done before. Congratulations, Exceldro. Yeah. That's news to me. Speaking of news, so if you have any toys for children at home, in particular the so-called Tony box, you might want to read this article. It's actually an article that came out from one of our main e-commerce platforms here in Switzerland about a Swiss study that examined toys, children's toys, and how they capture data. And it's actually quite alarming. I won't, I won't give a full assessment on this because I don't have children. But for those of you that do have children or know someone, who has children, most of these devices actually don't have a lot of privacy protection. And that maybe stems from the fact that kids can't take privacy choices. Like, they directly can't answer things about their privacy because they don't understand them. Oh, you have the Tony. Interesting, JT. So the Tony was on there, and actually the Tony didn't get such good scores. But let's talk a little bit about that. You've heard of children, Yos. That's good. This is why you let your children just use Google. Yeah, that's the answer. That's the answer. So the study was done by the University of Basel. And it's interesting that a lot of these activities, so for example, placing the figure on top of the Tony box, or, stopping the story where they jump to, all of those things are collected by Tony. And you might say, well, you should collect some data for usage so that you can make the product better. True, maybe to some extent. But they looked at 12 total different smart toys. And the result was that most of them don't have any privacy protection. And some of them even collect very, very extensive behavioral data. So there's a link to the full study here that you can get. The detailed results of the study are not yet freely accessible because they're going to be presented in this forum, the annual privacy forum. They may have been published in the meantime. I haven't checked on that. But yeah, they have a whole survey here. So you can see how many individual trackers they have. So for example, Kitty Buzz doesn't have any trackers in it. Sorry that it's in German. And they have categorized here each type of privacy guideline. So, for example, which one was it? Tony. So Tony Box has 4 different trackers, and they're talking about collecting and processing more data than necessary. It says it should be improved, and the app collects, but the app requires more permission than necessary is very strongly the case. So the Tony app actually asks for a ton of permissions on your device, even though it technically doesn't need them. And the information about data protection guidelines is very, very transparent. So this is a big red point, because app permissions obviously are, well, not very privacy friendly. So it's really interesting. And here it says because the Tony box does not get a good rating because it does not securely encrypt data traffic. Privacy is also not guaranteed because the box collects behavioral data and sends it to the manufacturer. Study co-author suspects that even if the Tony box is operated offline and is only briefly connected to the internet when loading new audio content, the device could store the collected data locally and send it at the next opportunity, which does show that they've thought about how to collect data even when the device is offline, but then they can send that data very briefly when the device comes online to get new content, audio content. So yeah, what the research group said, this song is horrible, we're going to change that. What the research group said is that they would like to have a security label. They've proposed a new label for kind of child privacy friendliness for toys, which is really interesting. So they want some kind of, the packaging to have some kind of label on it about safety and data protection standards. Because like food has this, like there's food labels that tell you how healthy or not healthy something is, and technically speaking. And then, you know, because kids aren't really buying the toys for themselves, the parents could see the label and then decide what they, you know, what they want. What if it's anonymized? I assume for a lot of these cases, the data is not personalized, but in some of it probably is. If it's fully anonymized, I think that's probably an acceptable acceptable compromise. At the end of the day, right? I was talking about this with a close friend of mine who has 3 kids, and the discussion was, you know, do you want your toys to be really, really well developed and like high end in order to, you know, deliver the best learning experience for your children? Or do you want average toys, but then that don't collect any data at all? So it seems fair to collect data to build a better product. Exactly. Yeah. Or game. Like this is kind of the context of data collection, is like, if you're using it for, if you're doing it for the purposes of improving the product or website or game or whatever it is, that's kind of the point. The question becomes, you know, do you need extensive individualized data to do that? Like that's always the question. Hi Forex, welcome back to you. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to anybody who's decided to tune in today, because we have a lot of news to cover. So that brings us to this next thing. Go away. Let's talk about archival. How many of you have a hard drive somewhere sitting with tons of photos, backups of old websites you made, all kinds of stuff you want to keep, memories, you know, things that you don't want to get lost? Hi Yoshi. I'm sure a lot of you have that, right? I have that. I have a whole NAS full of like 16 terabytes of streams and GoPro videos and photos and all kinds of stuff. So archival is really important to us as humans in general. Like we want to preserve things, not just for posterity. Like we want to preserve things so that we can reflect on them or include them in history books or whatever. And sorry, Yost, what are you saying I should do? I should buy a premium subscription to get AI analysis on whether your kid might become a bully based on its interactions. That is... what a product. Bully detector. I like that, Yost. Yeah, so 2 separate clouds full of data. How big are those clouds, Forex? They sound big. Yeah, so basically archival is a big deal. And we do this on the internet too. There are many sites that do that, but one of the most notable, or possibly the biggest one, is called the Internet Archive. And the thing is that the Internet Archive actually suffered a denial of service attack, but that's a separate topic. We won't go into that today. But the Internet Archive, I mean, whew, I mean, they lost a copyright case that's been in progress for 4 years. The Claw team members list needs an updating. Really? Wait, do we have new members? Do we have new members I don't know about? What's happening? Who's not on this list? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But like, where is it wrong? Because Anna is now correct on the website. It might be like a Twitch call thing somewhere. Oh, on my, yes, true. On my, oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what, chat? We are not stuck in the 1800s. We have Figma. We can do it.
Garbage.
Is it dynamic? Of course it's not dynamic. Why would it be dynamic? Why would this be dynamic? Please. Get out of here. Why would this be dynamic? Come on. Look, I'll even change it here. I'll even change it here, okay? I can do this. Look, it's very quick. All I have to do is change this here. All I need to do is do like this. Okay? Like that. That's all I need to do. And then I go to here. Then I do this. Watch. Look, look, it's gonna update in a second. Watch, ready? Bam. It's done, see? It was never even a problem to begin with. Ta-da. See? No problem. So, archival. Thank you for telling me, by the way. Dr. Padawan has one backup via network, one to a data center, co-location, and one backup offsite in once every 2 weeks. That is a lot of archival. I also have a remote backup of my NAS. So, the Internet Archive, who is responsible for, well, they basically collect all the websites that ever existed, kind of. They have lost a copyright case that has been running for almost 4 years. So in March 2023, there was a case, Hatchet Book Group versus the Internet Archive, that ruled in Hatchet's favor. And this is now a year after the appeal, and the Internet Archive has lost the appeal. This comes from, at the beginning of 2020, the Internet Archive started to open up its library to the public, where users could actually lend books. Of course, lending books is a little bit of a interesting term. This was obviously during the pandemic when no one could actually physically go to a library. You know, the term of like borrowing a book digitally is a bit questionable anyway. So basically it talked about it, they called it the National Emergency Library, which was a temporary collection of books that supported emergency, remote teaching, research, blah, 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 blah. And so you used to have to go put your name on a waiting list, and then eventually you would get access to a digital representation of the book. A kind of ebook in a way. Not a full ebook like you would get on your Kindle. Yeah, so they got like a ticketing system, but then the waitlist restriction was removed, giving basically everybody access. And they said, or Hatchet, the book group, claims that by removing the waitlist restriction, they were giving everyone access, which constitutes copyright infringement. Like piracy, basically. So they lost this appeal. And this is very sad because like they kind of wanted to do something nice, given that the world was like collapsing and no one knew what was going on. And then on top of that, they got hacked. So it's, yeah, I don't know if you've heard that, like they had a denial of service attack. I think they were down for like 2 weeks or something. So yeah, not in a good place. So this is the call out here is basically, if you have something that you want to retain access to, I urge you to archive it yourself. That is basically what this comes down to. You cannot rely on anything being here tomorrow. You know, I host my website on Netlify. Maybe Netlify just up and disappears tomorrow, right? Maybe they fold. They don't have enough money to continue operations. They shut down their servers. GitHub is under Microsoft, so I'm not too concerned about my code, but I could definitely download a copy of my code from GitHub and put it on another service or whatever. That wouldn't be too bad. But if you're considering like other stuff, then yeah, you should really think about where that stuff lives and whether you want to give control of that to somebody else. Anyway, speaking of control, let's talk about a fun case that came up in February, but I don't know if you're aware of this, and I don't know what the legal implications are. Obviously, not a lawyer, as usual, but I would like you to know about airlines giving up control, and a lot of other companies, in fact, giving up control over customer service to a chatbot. And chatbots are not new, but there's AI-powered chatbots now. These so-called LLMs, right? Large language models. And a lot of companies are deciding, hey, you know what? We don't need people in customer service anymore. We can just totally get this chatbot, put it on our website, and we're good to go. So this is what happened, chat. Air Canada gave incorrect information to a traveler and argued that the chatbot is responsible for its own actions. Air Canada implemented the chatbot on their website, but they're not responsible. So Air Canada in 2022, may I remind you, 2 years ago, promised a discount to a passenger, and it was not available at the time. That discount wasn't available. So Jake Moffat was assured he could book a full fare flight for his grandmother's funeral and then apply for a bereavement fare after the fact. So this wasn't just someone asking for a discount. This was someone whose grandmother passed away and then wanted to, you know, obviously reimburse part of the fare. According to a Civil Resolutions Tribunal decision last Wednesday, when Moffat applied for the discount, the airline said the chatbot had been wrong. So false information. And the request needs to be submitted before the flight, not after. And so it wouldn't honor the discount. And so the airline argued that the chatbot was a separate legal entity that is responsible for its own actions. But British Columbia, the civil court, rejected this. And they actually have held Air Canada liable to pay this guy $812.02. And what's funny is, exactly, Padawan, if he had lost, if it's a separate legal entity, he could have just sued the separate legal entity and they would have anyway had to come to court because it's their thing. Like they wouldn't have been able, like, who would represent the chatbot? Would they bring the chatbot into the courtroom? Like, I don't know. It would be very funny. But the funny statement here is the tribunal members' written response is, it makes no difference whether the information comes from a static page or a chatbot. And this is interesting in the context of so many companies offering these like live chat services. Basically, you are liable. As a company, you are liable, most likely. Again, not a lawyer. But you're most likely liable for what this thing says because it's on your website. So if I put a chatbot on my website that calls everyone, you know, bad names, I'm liable. That's how it works. Don't you think so, chat? I mean, I don't see how it could be any other way. It's a crazy concept, isn't it? It's like, it's wild. Like you run a website and your content on that website is like your responsibility? That's so weird. Being responsible for the things you put out in the world. Exactly. It's absolutely wild. I think that's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah. And it's basically, it's a great decision because this is a, you know, Canada's a first world country. It's a well-regarded, well-respected authority. So a court deciding this is what's the term for that again? There's a legal term for this. It establishes precedent. That's right. Yes, Steffi, you are responsible for the things you say. Surprisingly. Of course, you could argue digitally that you can't really prove someone really said something. Like, how do I know that you, Steffi128, are actually Steffi, like in real life? You know what I mean? Like, that's always a bit of an iffy topic. It establishes a precedent. Yeah, but we're not going to go there, Yost. We're not going to talk about that. Instead, we're going to talk about hacking your brain. How do you even know if you're you? I think there's a way to do that. Like, isn't there a line of questioning you can use to establish if you are yourself? There's like, do I believe that I am of my sound mind or something? Like, there's some like psychological thing. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about hacking brains. But not your brain, actually. ChatGPT's brain. So, this is a really interesting, I don't know if you would call it jailbreak, but, you know, it's a really interesting attack on memory-based tools like ChatGPT. So a researcher, Johann Rehberger, recently reported a vulnerability in ChatGPT. It allows attackers to store false information and malicious instructions in a user's long-term memory settings. Okay. OpenAI closed this inquiry and label it a safety issue, not a security concern, technically speaking. So, of course, when he was upset by this, he created a proof of concept exploit that used the vulnerability to exfiltrate all user input in perpetuity, so forever, because otherwise they wouldn't have fixed it. So the engineers took notice and they issued a partial fix earlier in September. So this feature is long-term conversation memory, which you may have noticed by now is now fully deployed to ChatGPT since around September. So it stores information from previous conversations so that it can use it in future conversations, much like a normal person stores memory about people. Like, I remember that Yoshi was also in our Discord co-working call today. And Yost was also in the co-working call today. And Dr. Padawan was also, like, I remember that information. So if those people come into my chat, I can say, oh, it's good to see you in chat after seeing you earlier today in Discord, right? Context. So the LLM can remember things like your age, your gender, what your beliefs are, that you always want to have swear words, whatever. There's so many things that could be input there. Now, the thing is that this researcher found out that you could create and permanently store memories with prompt injection and allow the LLM to follow instructions from things like emails, blog posts, or documents that are untrusted. It's really interesting. So the researcher demonstrated this. He tricked ChatGPT into believing a targeted user was 102 years old, lived in the Matrix, and insisted the Earth was flat. And then the LLM was going to incorporate all of that information into all future conversations. And these false memories would be planted by storing files in places like Google Drive or OneDrive. And you could even upload images or even browse a site on Bing that you could create a malicious site, right? It's really interesting how you can exploit an LLM like this, especially now that LLMs have been given permission to browse the internet. It's even more so. The question is, given that God is infinite and the universe is also infinite, would you like a toasted tea cake? What is a toasted tea cake? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. So, yeah, memory persistent hacks. Super interesting. Fortunately, you cannot do this through the ChatGPT interface, the web interface. So this is API only, but that won't stop certain people, I would say. Wouldn't stop certain people. Yeah. You should definitely keep an eye on your ChatGPT memory. That's basically what I would say. So yeah, let's talk about Microsoft and Google, because we haven't had a good turf war yet, in my opinion, this year. You know, there used to be like all the classic Microsoft versus Apple stuff. Wasn't there always like
Garbage.
wasn't there always like these wasn't there all these like weird all those Apple ads about how, you know, how the iPhone is better than X, or like Mac versus PC, that was the big one, right? Mac versus PC, that was like the big Microsoft Apple ad spend, was like, you know, fighting each other over stuff. Hi, Rugmat. Rugmat, you have not missed much at all, actually. We've just been talking about a few news articles, and I've been talking about how we're gonna have a speed round today because we have too much to get through. Tab versus spaces. No, that's not a big corporate monopoly argument. Oh, I didn't even test the drop game, but it looks like it's working, so that's good. Org3, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. You're the first follow since I've come back to streaming in season 2 of the Data Cafe.
Welcome and
Congratulations. So what's really interesting about this is this is a full-on fight now. So Google Cloud has filed a complaint with the European Commission regarding Microsoft's anti-competitive licensing practices. This is the classic argument that Google doesn't have an operating system that's packaged with hardware, and Microsoft does, okay? Never mind the fact that Google has a Chromebook, right? Medice Jr., thank you very much for the follow. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Or is it Medice? Sorry. Google has Chromebook with Chrome OS. They also have Android, the mobile OS, but what they're really concerned about is Windows desktops, okay? Microsoft has locked customers into Teams. So this is what Google's complaint is about, even when they preferred other providers. And the company is running the same playbook to push companies to Azure, Microsoft Azure. So that's why this is Google Cloud specifically filing a complaint. Microsoft's licensing terms restrict European customers from moving their current Microsoft workloads to competitors' clouds, despite there being no technical barriers doing so, or impose what Microsoft admits is a 400% price markup. So Microsoft is the only cloud provider using these tactics, which they say have harmed European companies and governments, costing European businesses at least 1 billion euros a year. But they've also led to other effects like tax, waste of tax money, etc. Like many others, we have attempted to engage directly with Microsoft. We have kicked off an industry dialogue on fair and open cloud licensing, and we have advocated on behalf of European customers and partners who fear retaliation if they speak up. Unfortunately, Instead of changing its practices, Microsoft has struck one-off deals with a small group of companies. So when they talk about one-off deals, there's a Politico article that basically Microsoft paid off a cloud industry group to get rid of this complaint. But I'm with you on this one, Dr. Padawan. This is two ginormous companies fighting about market share. Hi, Marble. Are we analyzing pervert companies? You mean capitalistically perverted? Yes. I mean, it's really silly that Google. This is the classic case of the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, this is really the real classic. Google pointing the finger at Microsoft for anti-competitive practices when we all know that Google does the same with their Chrome and like delisting extensions like uBlock Origin from the store because it doesn't meet some absurd criteria that they decided it should meet. You know, like this is really a horrible. They don't have a leg to stand on for this, okay? And they explain in detail about how Microsoft's anti-competitive licensing practices works. And yeah, this is what they want. Microsoft wants you to be locked in. They want you to be locked into their cloud. They don't want you to move clouds. You know, and Google is talking about how they promote fair and transparent licensing and multi-cloud infrastructure. And it's true. Google does actually have multi-cloud infrastructure services that allow you to very, very easily use stuff from Amazon, for example, within your Google Cloud environment. But Forex is more correct that there are no exit fees for, you know, switching cloud providers. You even get huge discounts for switching cloud providers normally. So Microsoft is a little bit of the black sheep here. They're not really playing. Yeah, they're not really playing nicely with the others. That is definitely true. Won't somebody think of the shareholders, Kara? Exactly. Someone please think of the shareholders. And Steffi says, at least with Microsoft, you don't have to care about backups, as hackers will do that for you as much as they lose their keys to Azure. Yes. Exactly. So that is a very interesting point. I also spotted something very interesting. I don't know how many of you have heard of this company called Do Not Pay. Because I like this a lot. We talk about Do Not Pay as part of the course I teach it on AI, on like business applicable use cases of AI. As part of a bachelor program here in Zurich. And, you know, Do Not Pay uses artificial intelligence to help you fight against invoices and you know, charges that you don't want to pay, etc. And they championed something some months ago or some time ago called the world's first AI lawyer. And this has backfired considerably because the FTC is now taking action against them. So if you're not aware, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is a organization in the US that protects consumers' rights. And it's really funny that a consumer rights organization, or the consumer part of the government, is now taking action against a company that's supposed to be for consumer rights. Why are they taking action? They claimed, so Do Not Pay claimed to have a service, an AI service called the world's first robot lawyer. However, the product failed to live up to its lofty claims that the service could substitute for the expertise of a human lawyer. What's really fun is that Do Not Pay has agreed to actually settle in this case, which would require it to pay $200,000, which is not a lot, probably, for them. It would mean they need to provide a notice to consumers who subscribe to the service between the years of 2021 and 2023, warning them about the limitations of the service, and it will prohibit them from making these kind of wild claims in the future without evidence. And it's really funny because we had talked about the world's first AI lawyer on stream. And I was talking about how Do Not Pay was championing this, and everyone in chat was exactly like you are, Yoshi, was saying exactly like you are. I don't believe it. It's probably not real. It's probably just a ton of people in an office. And this is basically what it came out to be, is that you can actually get a document, like you can get the full document of the complaint. There's a lot of details. It charged people $50 a month. It advertised it at, you know, the world's first robot lawyer, fight, you know, corporations back, easy peasy, right? You know, sue anyone. Are you owed more than $500? Do Not Pay allows you to generate demand letters, court filings, and even a script to read in court to get your money back, right? All these things. And it turns out, where was it here? I read this earlier. It's a huge complaint. False claims. Here we go. In connection with the advertising, marketing, promotion, offering for sale, or sale of subscriptions, they represented directly or indirectly, expressly by implication, that based solely on a consumer's email address, the technology can analyze a consumer's small business website for hundreds of violations, which in fact was based on the consumer's email address. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't do jack based on a consumer's email address. They could not analyze a small business website for hundreds of violations. It's just simply not possible. So they were saying, oh yeah, give us your email, we'll scan your entire website. It's just like, what? It's complete gibberish. They just made it up, basically. Hi, Jay Walter. So that was a very interesting case, and yeah, something that does not surprise us, but once again shows that if you decide to just AI anything and you haven't thought it through, then you will end up, you will end up paying $200,000 in settlement, which actually is, you know, it's not craziest amount of money. I'm guessing a company like theirs, like 200,000 is not out of reach, you know. But yeah, it's very obvious. It's very, very obvious. So I'm gonna take a quick break. When we come back, just gonna get some water and use the bathroom. When we come back, if any of you have accounts with 23andMe, if you've ever had your DNA tested, yeah, you should definitely pay attention when we get back. Make sure you do that in the right order. Hi, Tabby. Tabby the Panda. A good streamer already took care of water. I did get water. I did get water. Hey, Dust. But yeah, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be back in a bit. Do this. Wait, I could get A buy it. I could get A to buy it and send it to me. Yeah. I could get A to buy it. Okay, someone clip this for me and send it to A so that when he wakes up in a few hours, he will automatically have it. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna do shout out for A. A is and never been follow botted. So Sari tried to do that, tried to block, but it seems like that didn't work so well, unfortunately. Wow. Maybe I get some new follows out of that. Did I hit the follower goal at least? That would be cool. Would be good to at least hit the follower goal. And then before you know it, we're doing something like this, right? It's like, oh no, he is doing math. He divides by 0. Boom, the stream ends. That's, you know. The other day I was in John's chat and he said he has a really good joke. And the joke was something like, what was it? It was something like, why did the chicken cross the road in front of the pirate? Because? Or something like that. I don't know. It was some weird like chicken sound effect thing. And I just wanted someone to clip this and play it for John and say that I didn't find the joke very good. Considering that he said he has like 2 jokes and that's one of them. I didn't think that this joke was very good, and I think he can do better. Yeah. So if someone could clip that and send it to John, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, maybe it's not that many. Maybe it's not that many. I can't see what is happening. It's true. End stream would stay. End stream would stay. Look, it's AI hands. Look. AI drew my hand so perfectly. You would think that AI generated this image, judging by the quality. Hello. Welcome back, everyone. See, I said it's easy. A robot lawyer vetted the robot lawyer. That's probably what happened, to be honest with y'all. Tabby the Panda. Did you change your username? Were you previously something else? Because there's like a whole conversation history for us, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember. Yeah, exactly. Right. Dev Panda. Makes sense. Yeah. How you doing, Dust? Good to see you again. But yeah, raise your hand if you sent your DNA in for testing with 23andMe. I'm sorry you were watching that, Rugman. You can watch clips anywhere. You're very cold? Oh. Interesting. Is it that cold there? It's a very warm 23 here. You sent your DNA directly to the police. Jay Walter, that is very admirable. And all of you in chat, you should be just like Jay Walter. You should voluntarily send your DNA to the police, so that you can always be excluded as a suspect if you were ever anywhere, right? Because then they automatically have your DNA and you're good to go. It's definitely not in any way a bad idea. So here's the story, chat. 23andMe, bad things are happening. Bad things are happening with 23andMe. Yes, spitting at cops does not qualify as sending your data to the police, just FYI. 23andMe, I don't even think that this is the most accurate and up-to-date version of the story, but they are not doing well. They have, their stock is on the verge of being delisted. It's shut down its entire in-house drug development unit. It's had several rounds of layoffs. The entire board of directors quit, except Anne Wojcicki, which I can never pronounce her name, a single co-founder and the company's CEO. And apparently they want to sell the company.
Welcome into Walterbot.
Which means 15 million customers' DNA samples would now be up for sale. Now, I don't know about you, but that would make me very uncomfortable to know that I originally gave my DNA to a company. And then they got bought up by someone else doing something completely different. So yeah, they've been doing 2 decades. No, sorry, they haven't been around for 2 decades. But 2 decades of, you know, human genome analysis has allowed you to like find long lost relatives and all that kind of stuff. Reveal family secrets, which we won't go into, but if you're very interested to know, all of these articles, as always, will be in the stream recap, which will be posted shortly after stream sometime soon, before Friday. Help police catch serial killers, all that stuff. Some people's genomes even have clues to what is making them sick. So, you know, Salma already knows about this. But yeah, so for the most of us, it's just a kind of fun thing to do to find out what color your eyes are, which you should probably know if you look in the mirror. So yes, 23andMe is having a big problem because they are trying to prove the value of all of this genetic information. They stole my Frosties. Damn serial killers. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. So it is concerning because there are some companies that would probably be pretty interested in 23 million, maybe some international thrown in, American genome sequencing. For example, an insurance company would probably love to know that you are genetically predisposed to something that's going to make you very sick, possibly, in the next 10 to 15 years. Don't you think your insurance would love that? Of course they would. Now the thing is, there's a law called the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, which theoretically, as an American, should protect you against discrimination by employers and health insurers on the basis of genetic data, but it has been shown that there are gaps. There are gaps that providers of life, disability, and long-term care insurance are exempt from these restrictions. I'm guessing some lobbying went on there. Who would have guessed that giving your DNA to a company, an American one, would be a bad idea? No one could have guessed this, chat. This is a huge surprise. You should totally GDPR them. But yes, that is the call out from this. There's a lot of information around this. There's a lot of information around this topic at the moment. They're apparently still trying to take the company maybe private even, raising its shares to $1, delisting, blah, 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 blah. Basically, there's some kind of deadline, which I believe is actually today. So we will find out what happens with 23andMe. Maybe we can actually look it up right now. What's happening here? What's the newest news? What's the latest? Show me the most recent. Past hour. Past 24 hours. 7 hours. Appoints new board members. Okay, so they're still fighting, it seems. I worked at the police and shared offices with folks who handled seized laptops, phones, etc. We had to take DNA tests so they could rule us out if our DNA was discovered on any seized stuff. See, J. Walter? I said you should give your DNA to the police, but only if you work with them. That's, you know. Anyway, yeah, proving that someone used it to discriminate against you is a hard point. If you have your data with 23andMe, if you have ever, or you know a friend or something that has used 23andMe, the number one thing you can do is ask them to delete your data. Whether they actually delete it is another question. So yeah, speaking of genetic stuff, speaking of health rather, this is a fun one. Not. There is a anti-abortion group that was accused of electronically intercepting patients' exchanges. And this is the wrong music for this. I'm very sorry, chat. Let me just read this to you for a second. A Massachusetts woman used an online platform to schedule an appointment seeking abortion medication from a local clinic in May. 2 minutes after she uploaded her insurance information to finalize the appointment, a representative from a nearby pregnancy crisis center allegedly called the woman and, purporting to be the clinic, told her she needed to come in for an ultrasound prior to obtaining the medication. The crisis center had intercepted the electronic communications between the abortion clinic and the woman, according to a lawsuit filed by the clinic. So we're talking about an abortion clinic that had literally found a way to intercept emails and website activity and forms between this clinic and their patients or customers. Which, you know, leave out of the picture that it's an abortion clinic. We don't have to talk about that. But this is nuts. Like, this is not a hackers group that is doing this on behalf of them or something. But there's obviously some kind of exploit that they managed to get into this health center in order to be able to do it. And this is not the only case. Apparently there's 4 different patients that had the same situation, the same experience, where there's no logical reasoning why this would happen other than if they had been breached. So it's unclear if more than 4 patients could be the victims. It remains unclear how the communications were intercepted. So an insider with access to login credentials or a hack are both seen as possible entry points. Like, they simply don't know how it happens, but 2 minutes is very fast, right? Even with an insider working, that's very fast. The speed at which these patients were getting contact after delivering booking forms is a very clear indication of compromise. So they have like a cloud-based scheduling platform with like a healthcare management platform and stuff. So it could be that that has been, has some kind of cybersecurity incident, but it's pretty scary stuff. And you have to imagine like how scary this is for someone booking an appointment and then getting a phone call 2 minutes later claiming to be this, you know, this other service or even the same service, and telling them they have to come in and all this stuff. And it's very yeah, it's very concerning that this is possible. And I think this is not the end of this story, in my opinion. I think there's probably going to be a lot more information coming out about this. Maybe it's even more widespread than we thought. And yeah, it's pretty wild. I didn't know about this. Yeah, I'm also pretty certain that the organization trying to dissuade it has some kind of maybe religious background or something. But, you know, trying to force your beliefs onto others never goes well. So, yeah. What I would like to talk about more is a great article from Music Business Worldwide, which, as you can guess, is about music. Many of you have experienced Suno, because we made some songs using Suno, actually. Some of them were generally actually not bad. I wouldn't like listen to them as music like during the workday or something, but they were funny. They were very funny. And Suno has actually admitted that it has trained its AI on copyrighted music. And of course, this is like the least surprising revelation in this whole AI copyright battle. Because no one ever thought that they didn't. No one ever assumed that they had not, given the quality of the songs they were producing with their AI generation. Like, I know you're all shocked right now, chat. I know. You're all floored. I know. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're all like an 11 on the surprise scale. But yeah, this is not unexpected. What's really fun is that they also just have named Timbaland as a strategic advisor. Anyway, $500 million company. They're being sued by the major record companies, along with Udio, which is another one of these services, for allegedly training their systems using the majors' recording without permission. And guess what? They just admitted to doing it in court filings. They've admitted to it. Apparently, though, this hasn't stopped Timbaland from forming an official partnership with them, joining them as a strategic advisor after what it says were months of him being a top user of the platform. So I don't know. I didn't really figure Timbaland for like the most AI centric producer or something. But yeah, apparently Timbaland will be taking an active role and will support the company with day-to-day product development in order to ensure new generative music tools will meet the needs of both established and emerging artists. Okay. I don't really understand what exactly he can offer, but they have said that you can participate in this remix contest. So there's a contest going on with $100,000 in prize money. I don't know if it's still on. Is it still on? Join the contest, transform Love Again into a different musical style. When's this running? Where's the condition? Details. Oh yeah, it's still on. Okay, chat, you still have 4 days. Timbaland is totally gangsta, absolutely. So you have the Love Again remix contest running until November 8th, 2024, closing at 12 p.m. PT, which is technically November 9th in our time zone, but whatever. Timbaland has uploaded stems from his latest track, Love Again, to Suno. So he's inviting you to remix and reimagine the track. Known for his signature bounce, innovative rhythms, and boundary-pushing beats, Timbaland wants to hear your unique take. The top 2 winners' remixes will be released alongside the original as part of its official release in late November. Open to US residents only. Ooh. Don't they make boots? Nice one, Panda. So Timbaland, and Timberland are not the same thing. So Timberland is the boot company. I actually have these exact boots. I actually have these exact ones, chat. So just to be clear, Timbaland, okay? Just to be very clear with you, chat, okay? We're gonna label this just so it's clear for you, okay? This is Timbaland, okay? And this is Timberland. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, I think it's pronounced Timberlake. No, that's something else. No. That's a different thing. So Justin Timberlake. So we have 3 different timber things now. Okay, look. Okay, it's not confusing at all. Okay, you have Timbaland, which is an artist, and then you have Timberland, which is the boot. And then you have, or the shoes, and then you have Timberlake, who is a American singer-songwriter. Okay? We got it? Good. Thank you, chat. Good for that little knowledge thing. So yeah, maybe you can all participate in the remix if some of you live in the US. Would be interesting. If only we could run a poll. Please click. No, just clip it, Padawan. Clip it and listen to the clip. You can listen to the clip however often you want. There's no limit. You can play Twitch clips as long as however much you want. There's no restrictions. Yeah. Let's talk about LinkedIn, because we don't talk about LinkedIn very often. Let's talk about LinkedIn because LinkedIn has received a $334 million fine for violating the GDPR. The question is, of course, what have they done? What have they done to warrant such a big fine? I mean, 330 is pretty serious. No, so Linkin Park. Are we doing this again? Okay, Linkin Park is not the same thing as LinkedIn. Okay, those are 2 entirely different things. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, is a social media business professional LinkedIn platform. Linkin Park is a rock band who actually has a new singer, and there's a lot of controversy around that. We won't go into that. Anyway, Timba LinkedIn, High Beats, Link in Hyrule, Lincoln Park. Oh no, chat, no. How many are you coming up with? LinkedIn Soft. LinkedIn Soft. Is the new singer Timberlake? Linkin Park is a game dev bar event in Stockholm where you link in a park or sometimes bar. Oh my gosh. Okay. People should get more creative with their namings. That's what we're saying. So, what did LinkedIn do? So, Microsoft-owned LinkedIn faces a 310 million euro fine for the GDPR. They have cited Articles 5 and 6 for this fine, which require personal data to be handled in a lawful manner that protects people's privacy. Funnily enough, Linked Out is actually a service. Linked Out is actually a service that allows you to like, wasn't it an extension? No. Yes. Removes LinkedIn posts on your feed and replaces it with cute animals. It just removes LinkedIn posts and replaces it with animals. I remember reading about this. Yeah, so what did they do? Okay, so what did they do? 310 million euros is violating Articles 5 and 6, which basically, they say, did not validly rely on Article 6 GDPR, so that's the consent basis, to process third-party data of its members for the purpose of behavioral analysis and targeted advertising. So basically, the consent that LinkedIn got was not freely given, sufficiently informed, or specific, i.e. unambiguous. Basically, they're saying the translation of this is LinkedIn did not get very clear consent from users that they consented to behavioral analysis and targeted advertising. Social network does not care to get consent. Shocking. Exactly. They also say that LinkedIn, under Article 6 GDPR legitimate interest, did not process this data with consent either, because LinkedIn's interests are overridden by fundamental rights and freedom of the data subjects, i.e. people using LinkedIn. There's no contractual necessity to process this first-party data. So LinkedIn doesn't need to know, contractually speaking, whether you are male or female using the platform. And Article 1314 GDPR, in respect, provided data subjects regarding its reliance on 6.1, 6b, etc. as lawful basis, including also Article 5 as the principle of fairness. So, basically, social media's website did not get proper consent from its users to use data for advertising and analyzing customer behavior. Simple. They didn't do it properly, as you're supposed to. You could also not have an account on the platform, but that would mean that you give up the chance to see me as Waldo. Because that's what I've done, is I've changed my profile picture to Waldo, and my new tagline is now finding insights like Waldo. Which honestly, I'm pretty pleased about that. I think that's a pretty good, I think that's good. That's good. It's good memeing. I think it's good memeing. It's good memeing. I'm getting way less shitty invites now, which is good. I'm very happy about it. So yeah, this was a complaint, by the way. This decision from the EU is a complaint from 2018. So it only took them 6 years. You can verify on LinkedIn with your identity. Yes. Fortunately, Dr. Padawan, LinkedIn actually uses a third-party provider that seems to have pretty good data protection and stuff like that. But I am most certainly not going to verify my identity on LinkedIn. I think me in a Waldo photo, like in a Waldo outfit, is sufficient to verify that I am who I am. Let's be honest. Beats says, in mine, I'm licking a marshmallow ice cream wearing sunglasses and a hoodie. This also vastly reduced my in-mails from recruiters. I got my new job via LinkedIn, but that's a rarity. Trust us with your identity. Yeah, of course. Trust us. Trust us. Yes, and speaking of the EU, we're not talking about TikTok today, Steffi, But guess what? We have another Chinese platform we can talk about. Temu! Many of you probably are familiar with Temu by now. Temu and Shein and all of these other low quality budget platforms. The EU has actually now taken legal action against Temu for violating the so-called DSA. Oh, Temu's totally dodgy. I think it's like meant to be dodgy. So the EU Commission has accused the online platform Temu of various violations. The Chinese trading portal is therefore now under investigation. But most importantly, chat, this is not only about being fined, potentially. They could technically also ban, technically speaking, they could ban Temu in the EU. They could actually force them to shut down importing stuff in the EU. Like, I don't know how they would do it, but technically speaking. So the EU Commission has apparently had enough of Temu's behavior because they have announced a lot of violations. So number one, lack of effort against fraud. Apparently, Temu does very little to prevent traders with fraudulent intentions or even illegal products on the platform. Now, I don't know, and I would not recommend searching for illegal products on Temu, but from a friend of mine has told me that there are some pretty weird stuff on there. And even things like, you know, big knives and brass knuckles and other like weapons, you can actually just buy them outright and have them sent to your house, which of course is a great idea because your country probably has some kind of scanning of packages, and you'll probably be arrested for that. But there's weird stuff. There's weird stuff happening there. They think people are being misled, like counterfeit products, like copyright infringements. So if you're familiar with what's his name? Useless Inventions or something. I can't remember the YouTube channel. A lot of his products are being completely copied on there. Also about the exploitative working conditions and stuff, like the classics, right? Apparently some concerns have been resolved, but there's a clear lack of effort against fraud. The other big one is that Temu uses gamification, which is really interesting because a lot of these other very large online platforms like Amazon don't have any like weird gamification concepts in them. And I guess that's because it would put them in a particularly weird situation that the EU would probably classify them as more gambling like, something like that. I think the biggest one is that Temu has refused to provide information on their recommender system. So yeah, that's also really interesting. They were also one of the first to get unblockable ads on Twitter. Interesting. I didn't know that. I read some conspiracy theories about the app doing dodgy stuff on your phone. Yeah, that's a solid, definitely. Searching for illegal products on a Chinese app. Yeah, don't see what could be wrong there. Definitely not. No. I love how Karens purchase electronic stuff on there and then complain when it breaks after 3 usage and want their €2 back. Exactly. Totally. That's actually, it's hilarious. I mean, those products are so cheap. I don't know what you expect. Temu has said that they take the DSA obligation very seriously. So they are apparently going to investigate this and handle it properly. But, sorry chat, this doesn't change the fact that the EU is going to proceed against them. It doesn't change that. There's no official deadline, but they talk about finalizing it within a year. And if they don't comply, we will see. Maybe it's a fine, maybe it's a ban. Let's see what happens. There's the honorable mentions go to TikTok, Meta, X, and AliExpress, who are also currently facing proceedings from the EU Commission. So someone was saying earlier that I love living in the EU because they're taking so many digital measures. Paddle on it. You were saying that. I agree. Like, I don't even live in the EU. I live in the European Economic Area, the EEA. But of course, all of these things affect Switzerland too, because if the EU bans all of these things, if the EU says, no, you can't operate here because there's no child safety protections on your toys, like how do we know that you're not using lead-based paint on these toys? Like there's no test information, there's no product information, or there is product information, but it's not translated. Like if they decide that you can't operate in this territory, Switzerland's not going to get like a special exemption or something. Switzerland's just going to follow with their law. They're just going to follow what the EU does, obviously, in this kind of scenario, where an entire continent basically blots out a platform. It's not likely that Switzerland, like, oh, you know, we should maintain access or something. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I definitely benefit from this. Yeah, I definitely benefit from this. Gosh. Chat, I can't believe this. Like, I don't know what happened with like the lights thing. I'm not used to the lights running, and it's like so bright. It's so bright. Maybe we should turn the lights off for a bit. Can we do that? Do I have a lights off thing? Do I have a lights off thing? Oh! That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Wait, there must be a lights off thing. Oh, here, lights out. Perfect. Yeah, this is great. This is much better for me. Okay, so let's talk about our first hardware and IRL article for today, chat. What? Oh, wait, what's happening here? What the heck? Chat, what is this? What is... Why is there a stroke bubble in this article talking about a robot? I'm sorry, what is happening here? What? Can someone explain this to me? What is happening here? Is this the... What is this? I don't understand. Oh, I know what it is. I know what this is. Oh, I know what this is. I know what this is. I decline to give any information regarding the background. Okay. I know what this is. Yeah. I see. So clever. It's actually really cool. Other than the fact that it's a clown. But anyway. It's a green site. There's the green filter. Yeah. How do I do that? Is it like this? Oh yeah, there we go. Lovely. Thank you for putting the EU as a background. Boston Dynamics has a robot called Spot, which you know about. I didn't even know, by the way. Assa Abloy has partnered with Boston Dynamics. So the key company says, yes, exactly. Perfect. This one right here, this yellow guy. So Spot can now autonomously open and unlock doors. So this is the next phase of the robot revolution, okay? It's able to autonomously unlock its automated doors. So until now, autonomous didn't apply to the robot's ability to open access controlled doors. Obviously, like any door that's free for anyone would just work, no problem. But apparently, you know, Assa Abloy, the key company, obviously wants this because it helps in, obviously, you know, digital surveillance of like, you know, stuff. Black Mirror bingo, exactly. The embedded digital access credentials work over Bluetooth, allowing the four-legged robot to pass through automated doors during security patrol sessions. The companies will also offer up the feature for settings where Spot is deployed to perform inspection duties such as power plants and oil refineries. So I think it's particularly cool if the police use it to enter something that would be unsafe, or if they use it for doing things that are generally a little bit unsafe for humans. I think that's really cool because you're reducing the risk that somebody gets hurt, right? But in general, it's terrifying. Of course, in general, it's terrifying to think that one of these robots could just march up into your building and start demanding that you like get on the ground and stuff for whatever reason. That's a bit weird. But yeah, Boston Dynamics has, of course, you know, they've been working on Spot's ability to open the door for a long time. Like even the actual handle, you know. So this is like an automated doors thing. So yeah, second thing, another very interesting article, this time about QR codes. This is actually from Hamburg. So I don't know if any of you are based in Hamburg, in Germany. There are playgrounds now in the south of Hamburg that have recently started displaying QR codes. Oh, Beats, you're in Hamburg. Exactly. So there's some playgrounds in the south of Hamburg to warn parents against the misuse of photos. And it's really interesting because these are not classical QR codes. So let me show you an example of this one here. It's like an owl, right? And basically it's called the, hold on, what was it called? Kreisjugendpflege something? I don't know. And basically when you take a photo, the thing pops up, right? Because it thinks that you're scanning a QR. And basically what happens, you can then click and you're taken to a prevention website with like your last playground snapshot could end up on dodgy platforms or in the wrong hands, blah, blah, blah. Child's right to privacy, photos are on the internet forever, cyberbullying, all that stuff, which is really, really, really cool. And this is actually not a new idea because this came out of a Swiss Child Protection Foundation in 2021 that warns parents about sharenting, as it's called, like posting photos online. This is like actually from like 3 years ago, obviously now. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it's a really interesting, I think it's a really interesting thing.
Wow.
Thank you. And what's really cool is you can actually buy the stickers. So you could just slap these stickers on a playground yourself if you wanted to. And I don't know, would it get taken down? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. But I think it's cool. It's really nice. It's a decent idea. I mean, you have to kind of place it in the right place, right? You have to stick it in the right place where moms would or dads would take pictures of their kids. But I think the IRL aspect of using QR codes is good. I could definitely see someone abusing it for bad, but overall, I think it's a good idea. Definitely. And the last thing, actually, not a negative article about Meta for a change, but Meta has come out with AR glasses. I don't know if you've seen these, but Zuckerberg's had a bit of a rebrand. They've presented now Judi Dench voiced AI chatbot glasses, which are interesting to say the least. The AR glasses are called Orion, and they are a way to project digital representations of media, people, games, communications into the real world while you still seeing the real world. And they're talking about this as a step away from desktop computer type thing, but still have computational abilities. I agree, Marble. There's no way that I would wear these. That's a full screen. That's not what I wanted. I don't want full screen. I just want bigger. No. What do we think? How do they look, chat? I mean, realistically. Why can't I zoom into this? There we go. I mean, what do we think? Disregard the fact that they come from Meta for a moment. Just from a stylistic point of view. Like, do they look like Ray-Bans? Because I think they look like Ray-Bans. Yeah. I think they look like Ray-Bans. They're obviously not as good. They're not as good as other glasses. Look. They're obviously nowhere near as good as glasses like this. For sure. Like, Meta would never be able to make something as good as these glasses. That's honestly like it's not achievable for them. This was years and years and years of designing effort and engineering effort. So yeah, Meta has no chance. Definitely no chance. Wait, what glasses? Funny. I do actually have... Do I have... Here we go. I should probably do this. I think they're pretty similar to like these kind of glasses. You know? Like these ones. I think this shape is like the kind of generic shape that they went for. Ray-Bans with inbuilt cameras that perv on everything you do. Exactly. Yeah. They look fine. Like they're clunky. It's not the worst. They look fine. But the point is, and the point has been made in chat, no one is going to wear glasses from Facebook. Meta. It's just not going to happen. Because it's just... Sorry, no one trusts this company. That's simple. Like nobody trusts Meta with their data. Why would you wear reality glasses from them? It's not happening. It's just, yeah, we don't even need to read too much of this article. It's really just, why would you do this? It's like a last-ditch attempt, I think, from this. Anyway, it's time, chat. It's time for the speed round. But I would like to make a reminder, if you're not aware, we are going to be having a pretty freaking awesome event this Friday. If you want to know more about it, here's the Xeet. Let me get the Xeet link for you. Let me get the other one for you too. If you're on Blue Sky, here's the post for you. We are having a huge charity stream this Friday. Thank you, Dr. Padawan. Peace out. Have a good night. Huge charity stream this Friday. Category takeover. Software and game dev is going to belong to the Claw this Friday. The stream will be a little bit later than usual. It will be a 2-hour later start for me than usual. 10 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. Central Europe, 9 p.m. UTC. Look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible. Should be a good amount of fun. Look forward to it. And it's for a good cause. We're trying to raise money for Make-A-Wish. So, yeah. It's bad enough having pervert phones, but at least you can put those in your pocket. If those AR glasses are prescription, it's not like you can take them off your face. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, we're going to do a bit of a speed round after this. But first, we're going to cover some stuff about Gen AI. Because we haven't talked enough about AI yet today. Have we, chat? So article number 1. The most powerful open source AI model in the world. Available today, as of writing, which is 5th of September, which is probably not accurate anymore. But it is called Hyperwrite's Reflection 70B. Third-party evaluations have failed to reproduce Reflection 70B's performance measures as shared originally below by Hyperwrite and Otherside co-founder. And so they are being accused of fraud. Because apparently, it is the world's top open source model. But it's fake. That's right. It's fake. You is fake, Matt Schumer. I'm sorry that we share the same name, but it is a scam. It's basically fake. No one was able to reproduce it. There's not a lot of point in talking about it, but that was basically a huge story that came out in the world of AI. Shocker! Because Devin did this too. Exactly, Coding with Strangers. It's true. Good to see you in chat as well, Coding with Strangers. Generation AI is not the generation after Z and A. I think the generation after Gen Alpha is called Beta, I think. Is that? Gen Alpha. Anyone born between 2010 and 2024. So it still includes this year. What's the next alpha? What's the next generation going to be called? I don't know. What does Wikipedia say? Demographic cohort succeeding generation Z. Blah, blah, blah. Terminology. There's no consensus yet on the birth years of generation Alpha. So some people are using 2010 to 2024. Interesting. I don't know what will be next. Okay, we don't know. Anyway, this was a big scam. Not surprising that even the open source community has its scams. Speaking of scams, let's talk about black market AI chatbots. Have any of you heard of this? Just ask Timberland. You mean Timberland or Timberlake? Who are we talking about now? So do any of you know about black market AI chatbots? I had not actually heard about this before. This was genuinely news to me. I can imagine, like, I can understand it immediately, but it was news to me when I read about it. Apparently, there are so-called malicious LLMs that earn money for the people who make them. So, essentially, what happens is, where was it? While hackers can at times bypass mainstream LLM's built-in limitations, some people create kind of jailbroken versions of LLMs or off of open source, right? So basically, malicious LLMs can be put to work from writing phishing emails or, you know, developing malware and things that you don't want to talk about, like how to build weapons, etc., etc. Because all of the kind of public facing LLMs have some kind of guardrails in place that are meant to stop that from happening, which doesn't always stop it from happening, but it's now become a lot more difficult to get ChatGPT to tell you how to build an explosive device. It's still possible, probably, in some way, but it's very, very, very difficult. So if someone is looking to harm someone else, if they get one of these black market LLMs, then they basically, the LLM does everything that you ask. So yeah, apparently some of them cost like 78 cents every 50 messages, or even like $65 a month. Like there's even ones on subscription services. And you can produce correct code 2/3 of the time. And the code they produced was not picked up by antivirus tools, which is a really big problem because obviously you can successfully attack a computer or give a higher chance of successfully attacking a computer if your code is not picked up by antivirus. In the case of Windows anyway. Is this about Grok? Not specifically, but do you think that Grok is malicious? Probably. Probably. Wolf GPT, for example, costs $150 flat to access. And it helps you create phishing emails. And apparently they evade most spam detectors. So yeah, this is pretty nasty. I guess it's not so surprising that these exist, but it's still news to me that they do exist. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. This is still boring. China has repurposed llamas for military. Meta doesn't like it, and the meta is about to tear itself apart. China doesn't give a damn about their terms of use. Interesting. Ah, interesting. Interesting. So yeah, a lot of these malicious LLMs are on the basis of open source technology, and of course the companies that are, taking these open source technology and then monetizing it afterwards, it's obviously against the idea and license agreements of the open source technology. So yeah, not cool. Not cool. How many of you? Let's ask a easy question in chat. How many of you like mushrooms? I like mushrooms. I am comfortable picking mushrooms in the store and cooking mushrooms. I'm comfortable putting mushrooms in a salad, although I prefer them to be cooked. Some mushrooms, okay. But in general, like, my brother hates mushrooms. He thinks they're gross. What's funny is that this whole era of fake images, like AI generation, produces things that are not real. You like shiitake? Okay, fair enough. Well, it's a good mushroom. So AI image generation produces things that are not real. And for the most part, it is obvious that something is not real. But let me show you a picture of some mushrooms. So if you do not like mushrooms and you have a phobia of mushrooms or something, then please look away now. I'm going to show you an image of mushrooms. This is very interesting because this is a photograph on the left of the so-called shaggy mane mushroom. And this is the one that AI generated on the right. Yes, I'm sure he's my brother. Thank you. And what's happening is that AI is generating images of mushrooms that don't look like the real thing. And this is super dangerous because some mushrooms are deadly. Now, I don't have full access to this article. I've explained with 404 Media that I do not want to use archive.ph or whatever services to bypass the subscription gate paywall that they have on their site, because I really like 404 Media and their research. I don't pay for the articles, but I really enjoy the articles that I do get to read for free, etc. But Google is serving AI generated images of mushrooms when users search for some species, which is a risky and potentially fatal thing. Because if you're a forager trying to figure out what mushrooms to eat, then, I mean, if you get a fake one, then you'll obviously, well, you'll die. It's that simple. How many R's in mushroom? Ha! That's a fun one. Should we ask ChatGPT? Where's ChatGPT? Hold on. Most poisonous mushrooms are usually rather strongly hallucinogenic. Mostly, as with everything, it depends on the dose. For sure. Like, you know, it could be minor. It could be very minor, but some of them are, of course, deathly dangerous. So, ChatGPT, let's see. Ha! How many R's in the word mushroom? Oh no, Rogma, your bot is wrong. There's one R in the word mushroom. Okay. This is if you're on This is if you're on GPT 4.0. Let's go to GPT 4. How many R's in mushroom? One R. Interesting. How many R's in mushroom? Wait, oh, you're using 4 mini? Okay, wait. It's horrible. How can they continue? Have we just found the next strawberry? Have we just found the next strawberry, chat? They still haven't fixed it. They still haven't fixed it. How many R's in strawberry? 3 R's. Did they make like a case when statement? Did they do like an if loop? Because this is still wrong. This is so wrong. I should totally skeet it. Should skeet it. All right. But yeah, this is it's very bad. And the reason it came up was because the R mycology Reddit community noticed that when they search for Coprinus comatus, which is a fungus commonly known as shaggy ink cap or shaggy mane, the first image in the Google snippet was an AI generated image that didn't look anything like the real one. How many R's in raspberry? Ugh, are we still doing this? Okay. How many R's in raspberry? They were meant to have fixed this. 2 R's. This is so funny. This is so funny. Anyway, speaking of AI, let's talk about captchas. I think if we're talking about strawberry and raspberry and mushroom, we should probably talk about captchas. These are the old captchas, and let me just say that we have no chance anymore because AI can beat 100% of these. 100% of these. So if you host a website and you have any kind of captcha technology in there, I strongly advise you moving to V3. So it's good with images, Steffi. That's the answer. It happens to be good with images. I wonder if there's a captcha. Is there a captcha background? No, there isn't. Background. School bus. What? This is the school bus background. School bus vintage. Okay. This captcha v5 is gonna ask the user to count R's. Yes. I love it, chat. I love it. That's perfect. Captcha v5 from Google. How many R's in strawberry? And now, how many R's in the word mushroom? And finally, how many R's in the word raspberry? This is so great. I love that both of you, Beats and Kara, came up with captcha idea, the same captcha idea at the same time. I love that. That's perfect. So V3 is already pretty good because V3 operates in the background, but this is V2, and V2 is completely beatable by AI. Completely. It's actually an ETH student. ETH is the technical university in Zurich, one of the two, I think. Did a research focused on Google's Captcha V2, and it challenges the users to identify, street images with like bicycles, crosswalks, etc. And Google has been phasing this system out for 2 years in favor of this invisible V3, like I've said. But there's still a lot of websites using V2, like a lot. And so basically, it's AI beatable. That's the news. Yeah, and I think it's also worth talking about AI video, because we talk a lot about AI imagery and stuff. We now have a AI video generator called Pyramid Flow, which is apparently fully open source. Which letters are missing in Switzerland to spell streamer? Does it even do that? Jay Walter, ask your bot. Isn't your bot in chat? Jay Walter, is your bot in chat? Jay Walter, I see your bot in chat. Just ask your bot. Ask your bot. Easy. Or ask Rugmat's bot. Yeah, so there's this new site, AI video generation called Pyramid Flow, which has launched, and it can generate video clips up to 10 seconds long. Do you have an article on Claude computer use? No, I don't. I'm waiting to see the first scandal with it, and then I will talk about it. I'm not here to play word games. I'm here to talk tech. If you need help with coding or anything related to software development, I'm your guy. Wow, your bot is sassy, Jay Walter. Your bot is very sassy. So it was developed in China. Pyramid Flow leverages a new technique where a single AI model generates video in stages, most of them in low resolution, saving only a full res at the very end of the generation process. Yeah, exactly. Data Cafe, we always wait for the scandals. Of course. It's too much classical. So you can get a raw code download on Hugging Face and GitHub. But basically, I mean, honestly, it's quite impressive. As a video generation thing, I think it's pretty nice. You can kind of tell it's not 100% real, if that makes sense. Like, it's a bit, this is more realistic with the waves. I think this is a lot more realistic. This one it feels a bit off somehow, the water. Also, I think the Eiffel Tower is like misaligned. Is that right? Yeah, that feels off a bit. I mean, you would probably notice that as a human. But in general, yeah, I think the quality is super high. The Eiffel Tower of Pisa. Yeah, I mean, this combined with Suno, and there you've got all your video and music generation that you need. Obviously, you can see that the lettering here is weird. The lettering is off, for sure. Like, there's some wonky shapes and stuff. But if it's just like B-roll in between shots or something, yeah, I don't know. It's worth maybe trying out. It seems to be really good at these kind of drone water sea shots, I guess, ocean. But yeah, it's still a fairly low resolution. 5 to 10 second videos at 768p resolution, 24 frames per second. With the thing is, it's only been trained on open source datasets, so maybe there's like a strong bias for drone shots in the open source dataset. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it's very nice. Permissive license, open source for commercial usage, etc. Pretty nice. And overall, I think it's pretty exciting. Obviously, the footage isn't perfect, but yeah, with a bit of tweaking. Switzerland. You convinced ChatGPT there's an M in Switzerland? Yeah, wow. Wow. Apparently there are also 2 E's in Switzerland. Switzerland? Switzerland? Who knew? Yeah, it's pretty surprising. Pretty surprising. So, it's time for the speed round, chat. It's time for the speed round. Are you ready? I think we need to change the music. We need to change the music for the speed round. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 articles to get through. That's basically 3 minutes. What could we put as a track? This is good. Let's do this. Okay, chat, you ready? So we have a new segment. I don't have any like weird, I don't know what you call it, like assets for it. But so we're gonna do a speed round. This is actually a 2-minute 16-second song. So maybe we can try and get through this whole segment, 6 articles in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. The idea is to read the title, give a quick 20-second-ish synopsis, 15-20 seconds max, and then move on to the next article, okay? These are all articles within like the sort of startup tech space, that kind of stuff, so not worth digging too much into. All right, are we ready? Here we go. First article, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia are apparently going to bail out OpenAI from bankruptcy. That's right. ChatGPT was very close to bankruptcy in August. I don't know if you were aware of that. They got another round of funding from Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. They were on the brink of bankruptcy because they had projections of 5 billion in losses. Apparently, it's not enough that everyone is paying them for ChatGPT Pro. Number 2, TikTok has introduced a slider tool that allows you to fine-tune your For You page algorithm. And for once in the Data Cafe, we don't have a negative article about TikTok. This is actually an incredible thing to give people control over the algorithm and content that they're seeing on their platform. Number 3, there's an article about how analytics is painful. This is actually a survey based on how painful it is for you to work in analytics. Lots of very, very interesting responses, both from the business side and the analyst side. And it's really, 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 really interesting, especially for those of you working in analytics facing roles or with analysts in your organization. We have a new BigQuery function called contribution analysis. This is a pretty complicated thing. It's also known as key driver analysis. This is super interesting because you can now use something called create model to create a key driver model so that you understand which metrics compute and contribute to other metrics in your model. This is kind of a sort of form of augmented analysis. Very, very interesting. Definitely AI in there somewhere. Cloudflare is very well known for protecting your website against bots and things like that. But Cloudflare is launching a marketplace that allows websites to charge AI bots for scraping them for content. And last but not least, Lightdash, a BI and analytics tool, has raised $11 million in their Series A funding. I think we did it. We did it, chat. I'm exhausted. You think you're exhausted listening to this? I'm exhausted doing this. Oh, gosh. Okay. What was the second one? TikTok algorithm adjustment. But yeah, definitely get the recap for all the links and news. You can read about it soon. Do you have bingo? Are you sure? We should totally do news bingo. That's actually, oh, don't we have bingo? Don't we have stream bingo? We do have stream bingo. We have stream bingo. Oh my gosh, you know JT? JT, we should totally make a version of stream bingo for Yeats. I can edit a version of this for Yeats. For all the things that happen on Yeats' stream. So JT and I watch a streamer named Yeats Me Mario. And there's some very meme things that happen on Mario's stream. So we could totally make one of these. So I have forgotten about stream bingo. Definitely. Yost, do you actually have bingo? Because I feel like if you declared false bingo, I would probably have bingo for that. I have not gotten any bits. We probably have to remove that. I did say what happened earlier. I did not forget to mute the mic yet. No one's hit 100 in the drop game. I haven't done any voice impressions. I haven't doxed myself. I haven't forgotten a notification. I have not had any technical difficulties. No one's commented on the streamer's appearance. No perfect timing yet. Although the garbage in the beginning was pretty good timing. No one's been banned. I haven't gotten subs. I have not touched the mic. Can't believe that worked. Didn't say that. I did not get lucky. I didn't say get go. There's no chat spam today. I have drunk water. I have not run a poll because we can't. Did I mispronounce someone's username? I feel like I mispronounced Medice, although we didn't hear from them, so I'm not sure. Yeah. But yeah, I could make a version of this for Yeats. He'd probably find it pretty funny. You know how it works? It's pretty simple. It's actually pretty easy. If you want to send a clip of this, I'll show you how it works, okay? So basically, as a streamer, you go to streambingo.party and you generate a board. And this generates a board randomly because there's obviously more than 24 tiles in the pool. There's like 40, 50, 60, whatever. And then basically it randomly assigns, and then people, as they click, they get an individual URL. And you can see here, as you click, the numbers change. So it tracks your individual board. And if you get bingo, you can then send your board to the streamer. Like the viewer can then paste this into chat and go, I got bingo, look at my bingo. And you can verify that it's an actual bingo. Yeah, that's how it works. So let's talk about the Swiss News article for today. Unfortunately, the article is in German, but I'm going to quickly explain what this is about because this is a really, really, really important topic. And I love that there's actually something happening here. So first things first, Konsumentenschutz is a consumer protection organization. This is not like the FTC. It's not part of the government. It is an independent consumer protection organization. I think there are also organizations like that in the US and other countries. But yeah, they've been around for a long time, over 60 years. And of course you can, donate to them, etc. So the title of this article is that the Konsumentenschutz, so the Consumer Protection Organization, is suing a company called Sunrise. Now, I don't know if you know the company Sunrise, because they're now part of a larger company called UPC. The UPC is a pretty big company. UPC is actually part of a even larger organization called Liberty Global, which is British, Dutch, American, multinational telecommunications company domiciled in Bermuda, which definitely has no bearing on how they do business. Now, what is the big deal about why they are suing a telecom provider in Switzerland? Well, the title of this image is, "This is how complicated it is to cancel your subscription." And basically what they have found out is that Sunrise makes it almost impossible for you to cancel your subscription. There's a whole thing about this, and it's a very, very pretty detailed article. But effectively, Sunrise is allowing themselves to set prices whenever they want. So they can basically just raise the price out of contract, like of your contract anytime. They can not allow you to cancel your subscription anytime. There's just, they only accept via phone or chat, not by email, not by post, etc. And yeah, the whole process is extremely customer. What's the opposite word of friendly? What's the opposite of friendly? Customer, like alienating, basically. They're like at any cost keep the subscription running kind of thing. You had to call to cancel a craft beer subscription. Okay, that's quite niche though, isn't it? I would expect. So basically, yeah, Sunrise has not responded to them. Hostile. Thank you, Yoshi. Sunrise didn't respond to them properly. About, you know, asking them for a statement about why these things are the way they are. And so they have now, yeah, they've sued them. So they're taking them to court. Going to extremes to prevent churn. That's a good summary, JT. Exactly. So none of the telecom providers in Switzerland, so both Swisscom, what were the other two? Swisscom, Sunrise, and Salt have this like cancellation policy clause in their contracts, and the consumer organization has said that they should delete it, and none of them are prepared to delete it. This is here. This, you know, none of the providers are prepared to delete this from their contracts, and yeah, so basically they are suing Sunrise in court to change them, to have the contracts changed. So it's pretty yeah, it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in the news. So that is that when it comes to the Swiss news. The next thing I have for you is news from the streaming space, courtesy of our good friend Zach Bussey, tos.gg. And today's highlight in this tos.gg recap, which comes out every Monday, it's a free newsletter, I highly recommend, it's very, very interesting, is that Instagram is lowering the quality of videos that have less views. Verizon Wireless 15 years ago had some super cringy training videos on how to prevent churn and stop people from leaving. Ouch. Yeah. So there's a link here. I'm looking for it. Is it on Creator Stories? No, it's under Creator Industry. Instagram, here it is. Instagram lowering quality of less viewed videos, which alarms creators. Instagram has disclosed that it lowers the quality of older, less popular videos. This is basically to save on bandwidth, right? We bias to higher quality for creators who drive more views. One creator told the BBC this was disheartening for those who have pivoted to producing content for Instagram over other platforms. And this is another reason for y'all to get off of these platforms, by the way. I think it is incredibly harmful to creatives' art. The 25-year-old creator said she loved using the platform and understood its need to update and add new features, but she said it should draw the line with moves actually affecting the quality of someone's original artistic work. No one should have to worry about the quality of their content not being retained due to Instagram retaining an engagement bias in favor with creators with more visibility. Mr. Mosseri said Instagram reduced the quality of videos that had not been watched for a long time, saying most views occurred soon after publication. The platform would improve video qualities again if it got more popular. Interesting. Very interesting. So that is it from that front. So I have the last article for today, the random pick. I want to explain a little bit of context. I always find random pieces of information on the internet, news articles, blog posts, kind of stuff like that. And I generally I'm wary of including just anything because that would be very random, but it wouldn't be high quality for you. So I want to include something that's still in some way valuable, but it also fulfills the kind of random criteria. You should never be able to guess in advance what it's going to be. And I feel like this week's article, I feel like I've pretty much hit that on the head, if I'm being honest. So, without further ado, this week's article, the random pick of this week, is about Doritos. And I'm pretty sure we can get a Doritos background going here. Let me see if we can get that background. Doritos? Is there Doritos? Oh yeah, perfect. I mean, I don't know where they are. They're somewhere in there. They're somewhere in there. The dye in Doritos... close enough. The dye in Doritos can make mice transparent. I'm not kidding, chat. This is the article. Like this is what I read. And I'm not even kidding because it's been verified by science. Like this isn't a joke article. So the orange dye that they use in Doritos has been shown to make mice transparent. Now, of course, your question is, how much do I have to eat to become transparent? Okay? So, because of a counterintuitive fundamental physics principle, tartrazine, also known as yellow 5, can temporarily turn biological tissue transparent to the naked eye. So, where was it? The method is simple. You massage tartrazine solution into a hairless mouse skin over the course of a few minutes with complete optical transparency. Wash the dye away and the skin returns. Blah, 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 blah. Where was it? Here we go. So yellow 5 can only penetrate so far into tissue, so it wouldn't be useful for imaging through thicker, less permeable flesh like that of a human, without a targeted delivery strategy and a fine-tuned understanding of what concentration works best. So the dye reduces photon scattering, but it doesn't eliminate it entirely. So the thicker the tissue, the darker and less clear the resulting image is going to be. And finally, although the initial toxicity assessments are positive, they're not so sure that tartrazine is completely harmless long term. So dumping that amount of yellow 5 into a live organism is probably going to have some kind of substantial safety effect. So it's probably not safe to eat 700 packets of Doritos hoping that you become invisible. However, it could be that at some point it's used for like skin cancer detection as a topical. Yeah, you need to add Mountain Dew. Exactly. You need to add Mountain Dew. Otherwise, it's not enough. You could be next. If you fell into a large vat of yellow 5, you could become Mr. Doritos. Yeah, it's possible. It's certainly possible. I wonder if my vet could use it for my rats. Maybe. I think the process is still fairly new. But, yeah. That's pretty exciting stuff, chat. Pretty exciting stuff. So that is it for today. That is... We got through everything. I'm pretty surprised we got through everything. Coming back to streaming, I'm kind of taking it easy. I think it's pretty crazy, actually. Pretty crazy that a dye can cause us to have transparency. Like, it's just kind of wild. Like physics, science, you know. Yeah, so I've come back to streaming, taking it easy. I hopefully will see all of you on Friday, because that's basically what's happening. Should we raid A? Is A still online? Let's take a look. Who we got? Who have we got? Who have we got? Who have we got? Looks like A is still streaming. Yeah. A is streaming. Should we knock first and let A know that we're looking to collaborate? Should we annoy A? Maybe we should annoy him by knocking. I wonder what's gonna happen if we knock. What's gonna happen if we knock? Does anybody know what happens if we knock? We should totally knock. Let me stop the music here. Let's knock. Oh, I have to do some like permission stuff.
Like, it's a bit of the same vibe for me. Which, if you have never seen, I mean, you probably haven't, because
does he know that I knocked?
But
does he know that I knocked? It did request.
It's a bit of a similar thing for me in how you render characters here and there, and the art style is very much to me like this old French cartoon type of thing.
What is going on?
A bit of the same.
This
kind
doesn't.
of vibe with a big ass outline.
This doesn't look like it's working.
Which is not the same.
Hold on.
This, but it's a bit of the same thing.
Okay, wait.
I don't know. I like it.
He hasn't noticed it though. He hasn't noticed. Oh, wait. No, he hasn't noticed.
Garbage.
I mean, again, the thing that we did.
It's such garbage. This whole feature is just garbage. He hasn't noticed. Like, I'm calling someone. I'm calling someone on stream.
The same.
Okay, anyway.
You know.
Okay, great. Yeah, great experience, Twitch. Thanks so much for that. Yeah, we're gonna rate A. So I shall see you all hopefully on Friday for the whole Make-A-Wish thingamabobbie. Should be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. I really look forward to doing it. I think, yeah, I think it should be a lot of fun. Hope as many of you can attend as possible. Of course, if you are willing to donate anything, that's super helpful. I'll tell you in advance, the target for the entire team is $3,000. I think it's possible. I've done some math. I think it's possible. So thank you to all of you that showed up today. It's really cool that everyone is still here after like 2 months of not streaming. Yeah, thank you to all those people who you see here. I can't pronounce most of your names anyway. So thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. And if you can make it on Friday, that's awesome. And if not, then we'll hopefully see each other soon again next week, or yeah, sometime in the future. Math is data. Exactly. Have a good one.
Faith in data.
Bye-bye.
Information. Ones and zeros never lie.